In our heads, more clients equals more success. But in reality, it means more chaos. Welcome to the Sunshine Collective, a podcast for wellness entrepreneurs, service providers, and dreamers who are ready to build an aligned, profitable, and soul-centered business. I'm your host, Paige Toryk, a business coach, former spa owner, and your business bestie, here to help you blend strategy with intuition, structure with flow, and ambition with ease. Around here, we talk about everything from client growth to marketing mindset, money, and the messy middle of entrepreneurship, all through the lens of building a business that actually feels good to run. Whether you're behind the massage table, growing your studio, or stepping into your next evolution, this is your space for clarity, confidence, and a little bit of sunshine. Let's dive in. You know that feeling when you're looking at your schedule and you realize it's full, but you're really exhausted? That was 100% me. Just a few years ago, I was booked out on paper, but half my clients weren't really the right fit. I had a lot of people that I loved, but I also had a lot of people that I would see their names and it would stress me out. They were sweet, they paid, they tipped me well, but I look at my calendar, I think, not this one again. And that's the moment I realized that being busy isn't the same as being fulfilled. The truth is, your business can look and still feel empty if you're not working with the people who actually light you up. People who get you, value your work, and make you excited to walk into your treatment room. Today we're going to talk about who you're really meant to serve and how to get crystal clear on what will change everything about the way you market, price, and show up in your business. Here's what happens for most massage therapists when they're starting out. We say yes to everyone. Athletes, moms, construction workers, grandparents, stressed, sore, curious. If they had a body, we said yes. Because in our heads, more clients equals more success. But in reality, it means more chaos. However, I will say that when you're first getting started, it is a good thing to get practice. Know what you like, because you may not have worked on a certain population of clients yet. And you get someone on your table and you're like, this is the person. So don't let this discourage you from booking people, especially in the beginning, just to get them on your table and to make an income. It is important to know who you want to work with. But when you say yes to everyone, you end up building a business around other people's needs, not your own calling. You start tweaking your work for every client. One day you're doing deep tissue, the next day you're adding Reiki, the next day you're doing prenatal, and suddenly your marketing looks just as confused as you feel. And it's not because you're bad at marketing, it's because you don't know who you're talking to. When I finally sat down and asked myself, who actually makes me love what I do? The answer wasn't who I expected. When I first went into massage school, I was all about the spa world. I loved the idea of relaxation, spa. I like getting those treatments. They're my favorite. The longer that I have been in this industry, the less that is my ideal client. My ideal client isn't the person who tips the best. It wasn't the person who rebooks the most. It was the one who values my experience. I'll give you an ideal client situation. I have this gentleman who broke his neck. He fell outside of his house and broke his neck. And he had been going to PT. He was in a coma for a little while. After a coma, he went to PT and he was doing all of the other things to help him walk, and nothing was getting him up and running. He was using a walker. It was very hard for him to lift his foot. And because his nerves were not connecting, right? So he found me through a friend and hired me. And the first session we did was 2 hours. And he slowly walked over with his walker to my massage table. He gets on, we do our 2-hour service. And when we're done, he gets off the table and he walks over to the chair. And he sits down and goes to hand me the money. And he looks at me and he goes, "Oh my gosh, I just walked." I said, "Oh my gosh, you just walked." He has been a loyal client. He has been amazing. I love working with him. And I love watching his progress. And to me, that is my ideal client. Someone who I know has an issue that we can work through week to week to solve and fix, taking the whole body into account, knowing that one thing can change a whole series of things. That is my ideal client. I love post-op work. So I went into this industry thinking I was going to be doing spa work. I am not doing spa work. But what I love about this client is that they came ready to invest in themselves. So they trusted in me. They did the work I suggested, the aftercare that I suggested, collagen that I suggested afterwards. And they knew that this wasn't going to be a quick fix. They knew that this was going to take time. Although walking after your first session, after not walking for 4 months, is kind of amazing. But his service really made me realize that I wasn't meant to serve everyone. I wanted to be intentional with my work. And the more intentional I am, the more I know exactly who I'm speaking to. When you start working with aligned clients, people who want what you naturally offer, your entire business starts to flow differently. Marketing becomes easier because you know what to say. Pricing feels natural because you're confident in the value you bring. And you stop chasing clients because now you're just attracting them. Here's the wild part. Your ideal client often looks a lot like you. There's usually a previous version of where you've been. So for me, this ideal client that we spoke about, the reason I got into this industry was because my mom was in a coma for 3 months. And we thought, well, we knew that she was going to die. She had coded several times, and after her coma, she fell when she was in the hospital. And she started my evolution on this wellness journey. My mom is healthy. She is totally fine. And if you didn't know she had been sick previously, you'd never know. That woman should be in a coma. She should be dead. She should have a colonoscopy bag. She should have a trach. And my mom is totally fine. And that miracle, watching that miracle happen, knowing that my mom was good and well, is the kind of clients that I want to serve. Now, obviously, I can't expect a miracle out of every client that I work with. But knowing that I can take care of people after they have been through such a hard medical journey, that's really special to me. If you're someone who's passionate about nervous system regulation, your ideal client probably struggles with stress, anxiety, and dysregulation. I have a colleague of mine who I love dearly who had a lot of dysregulation in their childhood, and massage changed her life. Massage was what kept her stress levels low. And now her services are somatic work. She is phenomenal at that. If you've been through chronic pain, your ideal clients probably are the ones who have tried everything and are desperate for relief. I have another colleague that went through multiple hip surgeries, and now that is her ideal client. She works with people post-op with hip surgeries. If you're deeply into holistic wellness, your ideal clients are the ones who light up when they see essential oils on your shelf. That resonance is what builds trust. You don't need to convince aligned clients to book with you. They just know, because your energy and your message will finally speak their language. I think the thing that a lot of us are scared of in this industry is that there won't be enough clients, so we just market to everyone. And I'm here to tell you that is not true. It's not true. And here's the thing. You don't even have to be a massage therapist to listen to this message. Say you're an esthetician and your ideal client is acne-prone client. Well, how the heck am I supposed to know that as a client, as an onlooker, if you haven't marketed towards me? I want to know who your ideal client is, because the more you are an expert in what you do, the more you market for the person that is your ideal client, the more likely people are going to see you. The thing is that with this gentleman that I worked on with the neck, he sent me to a friend to take care of his friend who had a very similar injury. But had I not worked on him, had he not known that he was my ideal client, whether intrinsically or not, I wouldn't have been sent to his friend. And so now I'm having people being sent to me, or I'm being sent to them to take care of them because they know that this is my specialty. And that is your biggest marketing tool. That word of mouth, knowing who you serve and knowing who you're aligned with, 100% will get you more clients every single time. One of my biggest marketing tools is that, but it's the fact that it is less expensive to keep current clients than it is to market towards new ones. If you can keep your clients and your clients become your super fans and your clients become the people that market for you, you may not even need to do marketing in the end. I know a lot of us probably don't know who our ideal client is, though, right? Because when we're in massage school, they're just teaching us the tools of how to pass the MBLEX. They're teaching us the tools of how to make sure that we're giving a proper massage. So ideal client is marketing in general in the wellness industry is sort of lost. I want you to think about these 3 clues. Who do you love working with? These clients could see you could see them all day and you still feel energized. Who gets results? Look for patterns in the people who respond best to your work. That could be deep relaxation. That doesn't have to be a cupping client. So I don't want you to think that results necessarily mean medical results. Results could just mean they come out of your office and they look like they just got massage drunk, and that's the best feeling in the world for you. I also want you to think about who values you. These are clients that book ahead, they tip well, and they speak highly of you. That is your target audience. When you look at your business through that lens, you stop marketing out of fear and you start marketing out of confidence. A lot of people go into this industry, any business industry, to be honest with you, and all of their marketing and all of their business tactics are done out of fear. What if? I can't. I don't know. I'm scared. What if I don't get clients? What if I don't make money? What if? That is fear-based marketing. That is fear-based business. And if you live there, then your whole business is going to be around that. And you could have 6 months of good times, and then all of a sudden, because you marketed out of fear, those good times are going to be right back to where you were 6 months ago. So I want you to market out of confidence. You'll stop saying, I'll take whoever comes my way, and you'll start saying, I know exactly who I help. So if you're in a place where you're realizing, yeah, I've been serving everyone and I'm exhausted, it is time to shift from a generalist to someone who is intentional about their work. When you get clear on who you're meant to serve, everything else gets easier. Your brand, your pricing, your services, all of it starts aligning around the clients you love most. And when that happens, your business stops feeling like work and starts feeling like purpose. If you wanted to define that person clearly, the Growing Your Thriving Massage Business Workbook walks you through exactly how to do it. It'll be free in the show notes. And I'm excited for you to go through this. I want to talk further next time about turning your dream client into a real person you're actually talking to in your marketing. So stay tuned for our next episode. See you there.